who lost everything and how they're putting their lives back together. That's the Rivers Rage Thursday night from 9 until 11.
Finally, tonight, a new Northwest addition to our animal files. This 5.5-pound gorilla was born at Seattle's Woodland Park Zoo on Monday. It's the 7th successful gorilla birth at the zoo. The new arrival is significant because her father was captured in the wild. The infusion of genes will enhance the diversity of the captive gorilla gene pool. That's good news because since 1973, it's been illegal to catch gorillas for captivity.
And no monkeying around with that last look, Matt.
Not at all. We're going to just jump right into it with both feet and arms and everything else. We've got clear skies again tomorrow, a low of about 33. There may be some patches of fog around in the morning, but then sunny and up to 60. And the rain returns Saturday night and into Sunday, so enjoy the next couple days.
Okay, take care, everybody.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Thanks for watching Channel 2 News, the Northwest News leader. Tomorrow morning, join Dan Christopher and Janice Weibel for Channel 2 News This Morning.
February 14th, 1996.
Our economy is the healthiest it has been in 3 decades.
The president says the economy is booming. The stock market is soaring. But the layoffs keep coming and coming.
I'm being told it's not because you've done anything wrong, it's just because we don't have enough room for you.
Tonight, the Secretary of Labor has some tough things to say about those corporate layoffs.
America is not simply a bunch of businesses. It's a bunch of people.
And a chief executive whose aggressive downsizing has earned him the nickname of Chainsaw Al replies.
Here, the reason to be in business is to make money for your shareholders.
This is ABC News Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
Even as the Dow Jones Industrial Average on Wall Street notches up one record session after another, suggesting a booming economy, over 1,668,000 people have been laid off since 1993. 100,000 of them last month alone. It is even argued that one of the reasons that Wall Street is doing so well is precisely because corporations are downsizing their workforce with a vengeance. All of this is happening, of course, at precisely the same time that Congress and the White House are doing their best to balance the budget, which everyone now agrees involves cutting growth in government spending. If current trends continue, then we can expect to see the biggest businesses laying more people off at the same time that government is less able to provide additional support. To many Americans, the crunch is already here. To others, it's just around the corner. In a moment, we'll bring you a pointed discussion that we recorded earlier this evening with the Secretary of Labor and with one of the foremost practitioners of corporate downsizing. We begin, though, with Nightline correspondent Michelle McQueen.
He is the kind of boss we all dream about.
Social justice is part of the business that we're in. It's not only a devotion to the bottom line.
When a fire destroyed his Massachusetts textile mill last December, Aaron Feuerstein not only promised to rebuild, but to take care of his workers in the meantime.
At least for the next 30 days, all our hourly employees, will be paid their full salaries.
Best boss I've ever had, and you can quote me on that.
Taking care of his people, that's important. It makes us feel good.
He's a saint, you know. Everybody around here loves him.
It sounds like a scene from the past, something out of a Frank Capra movie.
Bingo! We made it! Close the door, Eustace! We made it! Look, we're still in business!
Where businesses were like family, offering security and generous benefits in exchange for years of service.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
For many workers these days, that image is long gone.
Greed is right. Greed works.
It is fair to say that large corporations are behaving in a different way in 1996 than they did in 1956 or in 1976. In those days, corporations engaged in massive layoffs only when the company's fundamental future was at stake. Now they're laying off lots of workers in order to fatten what already is a fat bottom line.
And the list of blue-chip companies handing out the pink slips is growing. January 1993, Sears Roebuck announced 50,000 jobs would be eliminated.
Feel very bad. I don't feel as tall as that building downtown. I've been with Sears 27 years.
July 1993, IBM says it will cut 63,000 jobs.
I know a lot of people that depended on this company, you know, to retire here and to settle down here. They probably do feel betrayed.
And January 1996, AT&T, 40,000 jobs are to go.
It's a very scary thing because I don't know where I'm going to go. How do I support my family? How do I pay my bills?
While it may be galling to some, CEOs now know that there is a new reality on Wall Street. Surveys show that announcements of corporate downsizing often bring a surge in stock prices. One survey says the average gain is 8%.
When a big company announces layoffs, that's seen as a sign that they're getting tough, that they're going to hold down costs, and they're going to make sure that they're going to be able to continue to thrive and survive in this new economy. So if you own a piece of that company, if you own stock in that company, presumably you're better off.
I've done 8 major turnarounds, and most of America's corporations are like beached whales.
No one preaches the lean and mean gospel better than Albert Dunlap, former chairman of Scott Paper Company. In barely 2 years, Dunlap took the ailing company, eliminated 11,000 jobs, and doubled the stock price. When the company was sold 2 years later, he walked away with nearly $100 million in salary, stocks, and other perks. The issue of downsizing is so provocative that it has landed onto the political radar screen. Labor Secretary Robert Reich is now criticizing corporations, arguing that they owe their country more than mere profits.
We've got to give companies an economic reason to do this. One possibility would be to reduce or eliminate the corporate income tax, but only for companies that achieve certain minimum standards.
And now Republicans are picking up the theme in New Hampshire. Pat Buchanan, campaigning as a populist, was first, and now Bob Dole has picked it up.
Corporate profits are setting records, but so are corporate layoffs.
For now, these presidential candidates are mostly interested in winning friends on Main Street. But any interference in corporate decision-making is likely to be a much tougher sell on Wall Street. This is Michelle McQueen for Nightline in Washington.
Joining me now from our Washington studio, Secretary of Labor Robert Reich and Albert Dunlap, the former chairman and CEO of the Scott Paper Company. Mr. Dunlap, it may seem a trivial point, but I gather you are not exactly offended by your nickname, Chainsaw Al. And of course, they're talking about the number of jobs that you have cut over the years. Why is that not an offensive nickname to you?
Well, it's not offensive because I've gone into companies that have had very poor results. The year before I joined Scott, they lost $277 million and were on credit watch. And I was forced to fire about 35% of the people. But 65% of the people have a more secure future than they've ever had before. And that's what people don't realize. I'm the doctor. I didn't create the problem.
When, Secretary Reich, someone like Mr. Dunlap comes in and makes that point, indeed he is correct. What is rarely understood is that perhaps if an Al Dunlap didn't come along, the whole company would go under and 100% of the workers would be out of work.
Ted, obviously there is room for efficiency improvements in American industry. We've seen enormous restructurings. Some of those restructurings were necessary. The real question is, do you have to do it suddenly in a way that causes a lot of people to be unemployed, in a way that causes massive job insecurity, imposes unemployment insurance costs, and generally stagnates wages, causes people to worry about their future as much as now? Companies such as the one you ran before, Aaron Feuerstein's company up in Malden Mills, they treat their workers as assets to be developed, not as costs to be cut. And that makes all the difference in terms of how those workers feel about that company. And indeed, in the long term, those workers actually may be more productive.
Do you think, Mr. Dunlap, that kind of benign leadership is actually workable at a huge company?
Here, The reason to be in business is to make money for your shareholders. The shareholders own the company. They take all the risk. No company ever gives the shareholder their money back when they go bust, and you have an awesome responsibility to see that they get the proper return for their risk.
And what if, as a consequence of thousands and then tens of thousands and then hundreds of thousands, as I mentioned, about 1.6 million people have been laid off over the past 2.5 to 3 years alone. What happens when that has an impact on the economy? Whose responsibility is that, and who's supposed to pick up the pieces?
The free enterprise system is very efficient when it's allowed to perform. America was becoming non-productive in global economies. American companies were failing. Because people have come in and made the tough decisions, American companies are now becoming successful. They're becoming global giants. And over time, they will create considerably more employment. And yes, some people have to lose their job. But as I said before, that's a lot better than everyone losing their job.
Secretary Reich, I know you're going to want to come back to that, and we'll give you a chance to do that as soon as we take this short break. Back in a moment.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by the men and women of General Motors.
The men and women of General Motors made a commitment to always put our customers first. It's a commitment we renew with every car and truck we sell. This year at GM, we're proud to say we reached a milestone. General Motors is rated highest in satisfaction right from the start. In the 1995 J.D. Power & Associates New Vehicle Sales Satisfaction Study.
Sears has great deals on tires for just about any car or truck. And now you'll get great savings on selected Michelin, Pirelli, Trailhandler, and Goodyear tires. So roll in before February 24th. Sears Auto Center.
Hormel chili, sure, that's my favorite. We eat a lot of turkey chili, too. With low-fat sour cream. Low-fat cheese. Or sour cream. Cheese. Sour cream. Cheese.
Nothing beats a bowl of Hormel chili, no matter which Hormel chili it is.
Tomorrow, space, the cheaper frontier. Now smaller technology must conquer the universe. But will it all fly? Boy, it'll dazzle you. Watch and you'll understand on ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
When I agreed to this motherhood thing, nobody told me I'd be doing everything in triplicate. Around here, nothing's quick or easy, except for my U.S. West Direct Yellow Pages. It's got an index in the back to find the right headings. And when I need something right away, like an ear doctor, it's got these specialty guides. I use my Yellow Pages all the time now. It's quick, it's easy.
Daddy's home!
And it's there when you need it.
It's the one that gets used. U.S. West Direct.
Imperial Tombs of China. Fascinating treasures from China's most powerful ancient rulers. The special exhibit opens soon. Buy your tickets now.
We've set up a flood relief fund at Post Office Box 297-207 in Portland. Every penny will go to the people who need it most.
If you think a bad tie can ruin a good suit, try a bad dry cleaning. That's why we offer free pressing at the Men's Warehouse. I guarantee it.
And we're back with Labor Secretary Robert Reich and Albert Dunlap, the former head of the Scott Paper Company. Just before the break, Secretary Reich, Mr. Dunlap was making the point that American industry, American businesses are simply getting more competitive in a global market. And the implication is what's good for American business in the long run is going to be good for the American people.
Ted, the problem we are having right now as an economy is not so much jobs, it's wages. As you pointed out before, the stock market is doing terrifically well. A 33% increase over the last year in stock values in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. But wages are stuck. And one of the reasons wages are stuck is people are scared to ask for a raise. They don't have any bargaining leverage. Many people are getting laid off. There is massive insecurity out there, I can tell you. I go out as labor secretary and talk to Americans, blue collar and white collar and pink collar. And I hear all the time people tell me the same story. I worked for this company, they say, for 20 years or 30 years, and now I'm treated like a disposable piece of machinery. That's not fair, they say. And they say, I'm not going to be loyal to the company next time, my next company. there are social consequences to this. It's not just a matter of maximizing shareholder returns.
Mr. Dunlap, there are variations of responsibility, and I think, as Secretary Reich points out, to the degree that workers no longer feel the kind of corporate loyalty that maybe they felt 20 or 30 years ago, that too is going to have consequences down the line.
Certainly, the world has changed over the last 20 years, but business is not a social experiment. You exist in business to be competitive, to come out with the best products, the best facilities, and to create a future for your people. And the companies that do well must have good products, must have good employee relations, because it all figures into the future of the company. And, you know, socialism has failed the world over, but yet we in America now want to reinstitute socialism into our economic situation, and I think that's dead wrong.
Is that really what we're talking about, Secretary Reich? Are you proposing some form of socialism here? Because I must say, I have read that even your own administration is a little bit queasy about some of the things that you've been saying publicly over the last few years.
Ted, I don't think anybody's talking about socialism here. What we're talking about is corporate citizenship, corporate responsibility. If the public sector can do less because we have to obviously balance the budget, then the private sector is going to have to do more. Americans are caught in this huge change affecting the economy. Many Americans are trapped in the old economy. They don't have the skills they need to get ahead. The question is, what are the responsibilities in this new economy of the private corporation? Is it only to maximize shareholder returns? Or is there also a responsibility to employees and to communities?
Let me rephrase what you're saying a little bit, because if you're just leaving it as a sort of vague responsibility, then I can tell you exactly what's going to happen. Corporations are going to continue operating on the basis of what produces maximum profit. Unless there is some kind of a big stick hanging out there somewhere, unless the government is saying either we're going to give you some sort of benefit if you pick up the slack here, or we're going to punish you in some way if you don't, why should business do that?
Ted, there are really two separate related issues. One, is it good for even the shareholders over the long term to have a lot of massive layoffs, a lot of insecurity, and a lot of employees who are survivors but who don't feel very much loyalty to the company? Are they going to go the extra mile? That's issue number one. Issue number two is, what about society in general? Are there ways in which we can provide incentives to companies, if that's the way companies behave, if that's the way the market is organized to maximize shareholder returns? Can we provide incentives so that companies not only maximize shareholder returns, but also provide some sort of economic security, train their workers, upgrade workers' skills? If they have to downsize, at least get workers new jobs paying approximately the same as the old.
Mr. Dunlap, what's your answer to that? Will business do that without some kind of a government incentive or threat?
Here, in the first place, I think American business is the envy of the world. I traveled 3.1 times around the globe last year, and most countries wish they had the free enterprise system we have. And where I visited countries where they have socialism, they've failed miserably. And I see this as socialism.
I'm not asking you to pick between socialism and capitalism or socialism and free enterprise. What I'm asking you is, will business in this country provide the kind of retraining, support, re-education that Secretary Reich is talking about, absent some kind of threat by the government or some kind of incentive from the government?
Number one, that is not the role of business. Business' role is to provide as secure a future for its employees as it can. And within doing that, some people lose their job. That has happened since the beginning of time. And because people didn't take their responsibilities to run efficient corporations seriously, we're in the situation we are now. And the last person that should arbitrate it is the government, the largest business in America, with the worst balance sheet, the poorest management, services people don't want, and a bloated cost structure.
You've left a couple of questions hanging in the air, because if government isn't going to do it and business isn't going to do it, I'm going to have to ask you who is going to do it, but we'll do that when we come back in just a moment.
Right or wrong?
Whatever the truth is, we're standing by you.
Guilty or innocent?
Get a full DNA report.
Jacob's not a killer.
He will always be their only son.
Wasn't me, all right? Someone else might have been there and killed that girl.
Caravan Pictures presents Meryl Streep, Liam Neeson.
I know my son.
He's still out there, whoever did this.
Jacob!
It could be anywhere. Before and after. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, February 23rd.
As sure as the sun will rise across America, the families that travel will have one common need: to be safe. That's why so many American families put their trust in Buick LeSabre. In fact, they've made LeSabre the best-selling full-size car in America 4 years in a row. Buick LeSabre, the American family car.
Next time, understanding what happens when life begins, plus the fashions of Isaac Mizrahi and actress Valerie Bertinelli.
That's next time
on Good Morning America.
Things aren't always what they seem. Sometimes
You get more than you expect.
Introducing the incredible i30. One look inside, and you'll be amazed at the spaciousness and attention to detail. In fact, the i30 has a larger interior than a Rolls-Royce Silver Spur. When was the last time you got more than you expected from a $30,000 luxury car?
Now, for a limited time, lease the Infiniti i30 with no down payment.
Beyond the law.
Jacob Ryan is charged with an unthinkable crime.
Beyond the evidence.
There's blood in the car. It's been taken care of.
What do you mean, taken care of?
Beyond the truth.
Is there something that you're not telling me?
How far will a parent go to protect the child they love?
What if you've destroyed evidence that would prove he's innocent?
Meryl Streep, Liam Neeson.
Jacob's not a killer.
Are you prepared to bet his freedom on that?
Before and After. Rated PG-13. Starts February 23rd.
This isn't one of those highbrow, white linen tablecloth, award-winning kind of restaurants. This is a throw your bib on and have plenty of napkins ready, award-winning kind of restaurant. Because this is Tony Roma's, and we're famous for ribs. All kinds of ribs. Our original world-famous baby backs, Blue Ridge Smokies, the classic Carolina Honeys, and our newest, Tony Roma's Red Hots. So dig in! Fame awaits you! Tony Roma's, famous for ribs, and a whole lot more.
Right now, dig into Tony Roma's Feast or Picnic Platter for just $9.99.
Back once again with Al Dunlap and Secretary of Labor Robert Reich. Mr. Secretary, we left on a note with which I suspect a great many Americans agree, and that is the government is a lousy arbiter of this kind of thing. The government doesn't do a very good job at it. But I'm also left with the impression that it's going to be someone else. Big business isn't going to do it on its own, says Mr. Dunlap, and government shouldn't do it.
Well, then we are between a rock and a hard place, Ted, because if there is not going to be any government incentive, if government can't do it, won't do it, and if big business is not going to do it in terms of retraining people, upgrading their skills, helping people get new jobs when they're laid off, then we have a lot of individuals, as we have right now, who are caught between the old economy and the new economy. They are not getting a raise. Most people are not getting a raise. The stock market may be doing quite well, but the economy is not necessarily measured in the pocketbooks of most people. We have got to think of the society as a whole. America is not simply a bunch of businesses. It's a bunch of people. And those people sit around their kitchen tables and they worry about how they're going to pay the bills, how they're going to afford college for their kids. If businesses are not going to step up to the plate and at least treat their employees as assets to be developed, and again, nobody is arguing that they have to keep all their employees all the time, but if those businesses are highly profitable, Ted, they owe it to their employees to at least upgrade the skills, and if they're downsizing, get those employees new jobs.
Ultimately, Mr. Dunlap, those people who are downsized, and that is such a bloodless word, those people who are canned, who are fired, who are out on the street, someone's going to have to take care of them, and inevitably, if business isn't going to do it, if business says it can't accommodate them, then the taxpayer is going to have to do it by taking care of them under some sort of social program.
Perhaps what we should do, obviously our welfare programs have been a miserable failure. Perhaps we need to go back to the Works Projects Administration type programs. Our infrastructure in America is decaying. Let's get people off welfare. Let's take people that are unemployed and let's pay them to work. Let's teach them a skill and let's let them repair the infrastructure of America.
Well, you're talking to the right man here. Here's the Secretary of Labor. What do you think? A WPA along the lines of what President Roosevelt had in the 30s?
Well, Ted, it's interesting, coming from a business leader who just said that he doesn't want government meddling and he doesn't believe in big government, to come back to a 1930s program that was indeed big government, hiring a lot of people, WPA, and having them build infrastructure. If business is willing to support that kind of program, and we can get through Congress some sort of jobs program, we maybe ought to consider it. But at least let's face the facts. Let's face the music. A lot of Americans now are insecure and they're struggling. If business does not raise people's wages, train people, help people across this great divide, Ted, there is going to be a backlash. You can already see it growing. People are going to support protectionism. They're going to support controls on capital markets. They're going to support things which actually inhibit economic growth, but may provide some job security.
I guess, Mr. Dunlap, you're probably not surprised to hear that from the Democratic Secretary of Labor, but there's a very similar theme coming from up in New Hampshire these days from one fellow by the name of Buchanan and another fellow by the name of Dole, the two leaders at the moment of the Republican Party. I mean, leaders in terms of the presidential campaign. Can you see this translating into a major campaign issue? And if so, what are you going to do about it?
Sure. 2 points. Number one, when we talked about big government, I wasn't talking about creating another big government program. I was talking about replacing welfare as we know it with a more productive program. To go more specifically to your point, obviously we're in the silly season. It's the political presidential election year, and people are changing their positions daily. And they need an adversary. And big business is the adversary for a moment. But they're losing sight of who owns corporate America. Corporate America is owned by the moms and pops of America, by the pension programs, by the 401k. Their life savings rest in the success of corporate America. And people have always lost jobs, and it's unfortunate. I happen to come from a working class family.
Let me just, and we're just about down to our last minute or so, interesting point that Mr. Dunlap made there, Secretary Reich, and that is, if the market were suddenly to take a dive, indeed, some of the pension funds, labor union pension funds among them, would take the biggest hit.
Ted, the top 10% of income earners in this country own 90% of the stocks in this country, 90% of the value of the stock market. So although obviously pension funds are dependent on a vibrant and buoyant stock market, let's not fool ourselves into who owns America. This is not your mom and pop ownership. This is a very small group of people. All right, and again, Ted, it's not a matter of bashing the rich. It's not a matter of portraying corporations as evil or venal. What we need to do is face the practical reality that we've got to help so many people get across this great chasm from the old economy to the new economy, and we are not, as a society, doing it now.
Mr. Dunlap, your body language says you got one more thing to say. You got 20 seconds in which to say it.
I sure do. That, unfortunately, was rubbish. The moms and pops of America own corporate America, not a bunch of rich people.
Mr. Dunlap, Mr. Reich, thank you both very much indeed. I'll be back in a moment.
How fast can you begin to feel relief from a cold? Depends. How fast can you open a Halls? Halls with vapor action soothes your throat, quiets your cough, and penetrates nasal passages. Vapor action means instant action, only from the Halls of Medicine. And now great tasting Halls Juniors, just for kids, sugar-free and with a kid-sized dosage of Halls Vapor Action.
Thanks to Sprint Business, there's a company who does more business in skis.
Sprint gave us an edge.
Sprint worked with Volant and brought them real solutions to help them get ahead so they can check orders online from anywhere and promote new products through video conferencing. Now they do business a whole new way.
And sales are really soaring.
We'll help your business do more business. Call Sprint Business.
The loads are getting heavier, and the stumps are just getting more stubborn. You're working harder than ever. You need a truck that does too. Meet the all-new 1997 Ford F-150. Our new Triton V8 cranks out even more power and torque. Our V6 out-muscles every standard truck engine in its class. And the first scheduled tune-up's 100,000 miles away. After all, the road's not getting any shorter. The new Ford F-150. Strength after strength after strength.
We've all been through a lot during this last week. If the floods didn't get you, chances are the slides did. I'm Jeff Gianola. Now it's time to take a look back at the astounding stories that happened right before our eyes. Thursday night at 9, watch a Channel 2 News special, The River's Rage. Meet the heroes of the flood and the victims struggling to put their lives back together, and see the powerful pictures that tell their stories so well. Watch The River's Rage, Thursday night at 9 on KATU, the spirit of the Northwest.
By truck, by boat, by helicopter, whatever it takes, Channel 2 News brings you closer. You can tell a breaking news station by where they take you and how they get there. Fast. Channel 2 News, your storm team in the spirit of the Northwest.
9. It's deals and meals at KFC. Choose your own special for only $2.99.
Everybody needs a little KFC.
For 26 years, Cooney Cadillac has led the way. Now we're leading the way to the 21st century. We designed a new exclusive Cadillac facility from the ground up to meet your expectations, making the future a part of today. Cooney Cadillac puts you in control of the shopping process, and we provide a huge selection of magnificent Cadillacs at the most competitive prices. Experience the difference at Cooney Cadillac, Southwest Cedar Hills Boulevard.
Save up to 50% during the President's Day sale at Hancock Fabrics. Save 50% on select Springs prints and 50% on cotton prints. Save 40% on sportswear solids, 33% on tapestry fabrics, and 33% on all batting. All calicos are just $2.99 a yard. All drapery prints are 20% off. Kirsch rods and accessories 40% off. Plus all Vogue patterns are just $4. Save up to 50% and more now through Tuesday during the incredible President's Day sale at Hancock Fabrics.